I know we were expecting some new developments this weekend, but some of them have failed quality control. Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the workstation.
You disappoint me, Carl. You disappoint me leading into the Italian Grand Prix where we were due a massive update package, and you've let me down. That being said, you know, we got 2 out of the 5. We got some drag and some tyre wear, but we didn't get both drag upgrades or the engine power, which are kind of the 3 I was hoping for. All the chassis stuff would have been additional extra. But welcome back, guys, to the F1 2018 career mode. I do apologise for the lengthy delay. I've just had a few issues with my working schedule, and it just hasn't meant I haven't had the time to sit down and record any kind of additional content. But I am back, and we're going to be lessening the uploads to make sure you at least get videos every week. You see, I've got another email here about next year's car regulations. So, looks like we're going to have some regulation changes next year. It'll affect multiple departments, but we don't know which ones yet. So I'm expecting some news later on in the season about what departments are affected. Now, looking at the progress indicator, you can see Force India have got up there. We've got Williams, McLaren, and myself all converged on each other. Haas are just a little bit further ahead of Renault, bring a major update here to the Belgian Grand Prix. I believe I said Italian. This is the Belgian Grand Prix, so apologies for any confusion there, but yeah, we wanted that big update package. We don't have one, but hopefully over the course of practice in this race weekend, I can get enough resource points to bring the remainder of those upgrades, specifically, hopefully, the drag and the power upgrade to the Italian Grand Prix. But we, of course, have this weekend, the Belgian Grand Prix, the driver's circuit of the Formula 1 calendar. Most of the grid loves coming here, and it is an absolute joy and pleasure to drive this circuit. So many different corners, so many just flowing, long, high-speed corners, some nice technical bits. It has literally everything a driver could want. I am hoping to get some good results here for Force India. You know, we've only failed to score points twice in our F1 career. One of those was an 11th place and one of those was a DNF. So we head into qualifying here. Currently P9. This is my second and final run of the session. Let's see what we can do as I try and maximise my entry out of the bus stop chicane across the line, heading up towards La Source, braking at the 100 metre board, get it tucked in nicely before getting on the power. Don't ride the curb too much on exit as that will hamper acceleration. Then max and of course hot lap down the hill. We're going to bump it up to overtake as we get up to 8th gear, be able to build that maximum speed, commit through Eau Rouge and up through Raidillon as we now head down the Kemmel Straight easily over 200 miles an hour once we get the DRS up. In fact, it's nearer 210 as we charge towards Les Combes, braking hard. Missed the apex a little bit there, but carried the speed through the second part. That enabled me to catch back up to my delta. We're just a little bit below as we're now coming to the double right-hander of Rivage. We've actually gone horrifically wide on braking. Car got unsettled due to the undulation, but then we bring it back up nicely, take a big old chunk of curve through the through the no-named left-hander. We actually tap the wall a little bit. That's cost me a bit of time as we go down towards Pouan, chuck it down one gear and then accelerate early, maximise the track a little bit too much, a little bit of track extending, but I think if I'm honest that cost me more time than it may. Then through the Fania chicane, beautiful on the apex, using the curves and then maximising the room on acceleration there as we come towards the first part of Stavolo. Then on the power, our delta's very close. We're 1.3 down on pole position. This is of course the longest lap of the entire calendar, so we've got more time to lose as we now delta's fluctuating as we now head towards through the, I forget the name of that corner, it's completely escaped me, I do apologise. Into the bus stop though, professionalism at its absolute finest. Blanchimont is the corner, that's the name of it. Through the bus stop chicane, hot lap mode, DRS open, across the line. It's a 2/10 improvement and it bumps us up to P7 on the grid, 1.6 seconds off the pace. And then by the end of the session, unfortunately, that did result in P11. The Ferraris are 1 and 2, the Mercedes 3, 4, the Red Bulls 5, 6, and the Renaults 7th and 8th. Perez up there in 9th, and Magnussen splitting myself and Perez, but less than a 10th between myself and Perez, and just over a 10th between the Force Indias and the Haas cars. So looking pretty exciting. Could definitely mean interesting battles into La Source and of course down the Kemmel Straight on lap 1. We saw what it was like in the real life Belgian Grand Prix. Let's see what kind of insanity we can try. But going in to the R&D, We're going to get that engine power upgrade. That's going to come for Italy, and I should have just enough points as well to be able to get that drag upgrade that I was talking about. So that's both of those purchased. We'll see if we can get the chassis one after the race, but at least those two are definitely on the car because they're what I'm going to need going into the Italian Grand Prix. But let's get into this race at Belgium.
In the 48 races held at Spa between 1950 and 2015, the race winner has only started from pole position on 16 occasions. Qualifying yesterday may have set the order for today, but expect the unexpected here at the Belgian Grand Prix. As the saying goes, of course, anything can happen. And you know what? It usually does. So here we are once again at Spa-Francorchamps with 19 corners, 9 to the right and 10 to the left, and a lap distance of 4.35 miles. An average lap speed in the dry here is around 145 miles per hour. It's a very quick circuit indeed. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Now I want to ask you about Charles Leclerc. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Okay, don't worry about making places into one, it's far too tight. Concentrate on a clean exit so you get good momentum down the Camel Straight.
Smart words there, Jeff. Very smart words. Here we are on the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix. Looking like a very simple one-stop. We can start on the soft compound tyre, which is the middle tyre. Looks like I'm actually going to change it for the super soft. I recorded this a while ago, so my memory has faded a wee bit. Super softs to mediums. Simple one-stop strategy. Let's see what we can do versus the rest of the grid. We're going to be fighting, of course, down the Camel Straight into Lacombe as we have 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix. Lights are out and away we go. Initial slow response off the line. That's not exactly what we want. We don't want to try anything too crazy into La Source. The field's a little bit slow, so we're just going to poke our nose in. Nothing too serious. Try and get past Sergio Perez, our teammate, but he gets better traction there on exit. Magnussen actually is trying something down my inside as we head down towards Lake Com. For the first time, can Magnussen keep his foot in it? He does, but we drift out wide. Have to take a big confidence lift through our rouge. But now we're tucked up behind the slipstream of Perez. We breeze past him with Rich and overtake. Then we've got Sainz and Hulkenberg down towards the Camel Straight. They've got Renault power. We've got Mercedes power down the inside, just like Ocon in the real life Grand Prix. Only we dive it down the inside, make the move. Double pass on the Renaults, and that's us up from P11 to P7 in one single sector. That's exactly the start of the race we needed as we qualified outside the top 10. If we're going to want to be getting the points, we need to attack early on. Vettel already accelerating away from both Mercedes cars as Raikkonen tries to move past Bottas and succeeded through the no-name left-hander. But end of lap 2, Vettel setting the pace on a 46.9. We're dropping back from the lead cars. We're pulling a bit of gap to the cars behind though. We set our lap time of 49.7, so a little off the pace, but not the end of the world. Nothing too major. We just need to get into a nice consistent rhythm. Build a gap to the Renaults. That's essentially, like, you guys know by now, the Renaults are my target. So end of lap 4, that's exactly what we're doing. We're kind of running on our own, really. That group of cars ahead of me is battling. Vettel's off on his own. Then it's ourselves clearly in P7. And you've got Sainz and Hulkenberg are battling both Perez and a Haas in there. In fact, Perez has slipped back a little bit. It's just the Haas that is actually battling. But the tyres there, 30% is my most worn tyre. These tyres just need to get me to lap 8 or 9. That's essentially the crucial lap. But interestingly enough, the leaders on their super soft tyre that, of course, did the additional pain in qualifying are pitting at the end of lap 5. So that means they've got a very long way to go. I assume they're still going to be running the one-stop strategy and going from supers to medium tyres as Sainz then moves up into P6. There's a Red Bull and a Mercedes there in the pits of Verstappen is definitely one of the cars, but more cars in the pits at the end of lap 7. That's a more traditional sort of one-stop range that you would expect. And Vettel leads the Grand Prix from myself. Bottas onto the mediums. So like I said, more traditional one-stop. So we're going to try and use basically all of our rich and all of our high mixture coming in this lap. Sergei Sorokin has started on the soft tyre. He's up into 3rd place. Vettel's in the pits for his medium tyres. Here we go, coming in just nice and easy on the line. Not attacking it too much because it really sneaks up on you, the Belgian Grand Prix pit limiter. But yeah, we're in. should be on our own, so we shouldn't get any form of delay during this pit stop. The Force India boys usually give us a good one. What are we going to get? 2.2. Excellent stuff there. Where are we going to feed out on circuit? Lance Stroll and Max Verstappen come past us there. Hopefully, we should feed out ahead of Grosjean, who's on the soft tyre, so he's still got a few laps left in his stint. We're compromised on exits somewhat. Is Grosjean going to get ahead of us? No, he's going to sit in our slipstream down towards Eau Rouge, but it doesn't look like he can get past us straight away. That being said, he is going to have DRS, so depending on his slingshot and his slipstream, he could probably try and make a move into Les Combes. We're going to move across early, break the slipstream. Grosjean does appear to have his DRS open, but he can't quite pull alongside the Force India. Just too much speed in a straight line. We'll take the racing line. Thank you very much. And hopefully now, with Grosjean being worn on his soft compound tyres, he shouldn't really be too much of a threat. But saying that, he stuck onto us quite nicely. By the end of lap 9, he's still up behind me, and in fact, going down the inside the left-hander before Blanchimont, I'm just going to give that one a wide berth. I don't really fancy getting involved with that, so Grosjean, you can go through. I can sit in the slipstream. Are we going to dive it down the inside of the bus stop? Thought about it. Didn't quite fancy pulling it off because Grosjean's going to be coming into the pits very soon, and to be honest, we're better off, instead of just diving down the inside of the bus stop, we're better just sticking behind him and sizing him up for a move using DRS at the top of the hill down towards Les Combes. So that's hopefully what we're going to do. Couple of cars, couple of soft tyre runners are in the pits for their one and only pit stop, so Grosjean will be in fairly soon. We're up to Rich and High. Sainz is up behind us. He's actually closed down a little bit. There's an Alfa Romeo between us, but that has been lapped. Grosjean definitely pulled out a bit on acceleration there out of Les Combes, but we're going to be getting slipstream, Rich in overtake mode, DRS open. This is just a recipe for slipstream. Grosjean goes to the inside, we'll go to the outside, and we're way ahead before Les Combes. Nicely take the inside line, and Verstappen's not really getting away from us, you know. Verstappen is stuck in a bit of traffic, so we could try and actually get up behind him. He's actually battling the car ahead, which looks like a McLaren. I think it's Stoffel. It is indeed Stoffel Van Dorn. Verstappen and Van Dorn going side by side through the Failure chicane. Van Dorn finally gets past him, or Verstappen, sorry, finally gets past Van Dorn. As we come through Stavelot, we're actually a lot closer to Verstappen than we were, and we're on for a personal best lap of the Grand Prix, so if we stick up behind Van Dorn, we should be getting a slipstream all through this final sector of the lap, and that will pull us nicely into contention with Verstappen. We're both going to the end, and my car feels honestly quicker at the moment, and look at the gain that we've had on Van Dorn, who's trying round the outside of Verstappen into the bus stop. Is he going to pull the move off? He gets the inside for the second part. Look how much we've closed. Is Van Dorn going to get it on traction? No. Got a little bit sideways. That allowed Verstappen to blast past, but personal best from us, and we now fall up behind us. Van Dorn tries it around the outside of La Source, but again, Max just gets a better acceleration. Van Dorn had the DRS. We've got Grosjean up behind us once again, so is he maybe going to try and make a move on us? He's going to try around the outside of Eau Rouge. That gets the inside of Radion. We've had to go off the track, avoiding action. Exceeding the track limits. Didn't gain anything in my position there because we were going to be flat anyway, and we just breezed past Van Dorn and Verstappen, who of course have the Renault power units, whereas we have the Mercedes. Straight into the lead of the race. Into 6th place, sorry. I'm imagining. Vivid imagination. We go wide there. Through the right hand of Verstappen. Could come back at us, but we actually built enough of a gap to him. We just carried so much speed down the Kemmel Straight. That's us up in 6th place. Verstappen now up behind us. Could he be trying to make a move into the bus stop? We're going to go defensive. I was saving ERS through now because I used a lot of it earlier. Verstappen locks up his outside tyre into the bus stop, so he's clearly had a go. We're going to go to the inside. Can we get him on traction? No. Verstappen gets the better run, but it's fine. Verstappen, like I said there, I believe he's made a mistake, honestly, because we're going to be able to try and get him into Les Combes. Grosjean tries round the outside. He's pushing those soft tyres further than I expected. Clearly the better race tyres. He's done over half the race on it now, and he's going to have to go medium to the end of the Grand Prix. That could work out quite nicely for Grosjean, but bear in mind he hasn't made his pit stop yet, as Verstappen now well within a second of him. We're going to get that rich mix, that DRS, that slipstream, all the way up to Les Combes. And Grosjean's in my slipstream as well, but he just can't keep up with the pace that we have. Look at it, 211 at peak of speed there. Verstappen tried to keep his foot in it into Les Combes, but just not able to there. That's us up back into 6th place. Let's get a replay just of the closing speed that we had on Verstappen there. It was absolutely insane. He tries to fight the position, goes wide, and do you know what? Grosjean's going to try and have him. Grosjean has had him round the outside of the second part of the corner, and then you got the two Renaults up behind there. But just look at this closing speed from the slipstream, the DRS, the overtake mode. The battery just disappeared, and then He wasn't able to turn in. We parked the car perfectly on the apex. Then Grosjean, very opportunistic of him. Got to give him credit there. It was a very intelligent racing move. As you now move on. End of lap 12, beginning of lap 13. We're being told chance of rain in about 10 minutes. Now, with the lap times being in the 1 minute 50s, that means theoretically the rain could come before the end of the Grand Prix. I've completely butchered my exit out of La Source, and it's going to mean Grosjean's going to be able to try and have a go round the outside. Bit of wheel banging into Eau Rouge. We lift us to try and not cut the circuit as we did before. Warning of a collision with Romain Grosjean, but that's fine. Once again, just dip in to his slipstream. He even has DRS, and even then the Ferrari power unit in that Haas. Although at the top end, he's just about to stay ahead of me. We're going to have to commit to the move. It was very half-hearted. Can we get Grosjean through the mid-corner? Yes, we can. Just a mechanical grip. Those soft tyres must have completely given up at this point of the race. But we move on. Grosjean's made his pit stop now, and that's us up into P6.
Right, some information on Hamilton. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
And then we get told there's a problem with Lewis Hamilton's car, so he's up the road with us. That's going to inherit us a position depending on what the issue is with Hamilton's car. We don't find out until we come through the Les Combes chicane. Hamilton has dropped down to 5th, and he's moving very slowly. It's a puncture on the left front medium tyre. And we move on to a lap later. This is us at the very next lap. Hamilton still hasn't completed that lap, so he's now a complete lap down on the field. So that's inherited us 5th place, and Bottas is only up the road. What's the gap going to be to Valtteri Bottas? We're going to come around the final corner. Are we going to stay on board across the line? Yes, we are. Rich and medium coming across the line.
Bottas is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 3.0 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:50.4.
So we set a personal best that time around, and we're only 3 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas, and he's in the mid 1 minute 50. So I think Bottas has got a bit of a problem the further and further we get into this Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas now only 1 second ahead of me. So I've ran on Rich, I've saved my battery, with now 4 and a bit laps to go in the race. We could be in DRS range very soon. Let's go for it. Let's try and have a works Mercedes car. We're arguably the Mercedes B team at this point, but let's try and have Valtteri Bottas into the bus stop then. He's still got better traction. I'm just awful on corner exit, but we're within DRS. We crossed the line. 0.8 of a second is the gap, and we're lapping within half a tenth of our personal best. Can we get Valtteri Bottas and be up into P4 in the Belgian Grand Prix? Let's find out. Rich and high out of La Source, heading down towards Eau Rouge. Clip the curb as much as possible, then through the right-left combination of Radion and on the hill. Have we still got DRS? Answer is yes, but Bottas is a long way ahead of us. We have got Rich and overtake. We're not really getting too much slipstream though, as we try and peak at 209 miles an hour. Weren't able to catch Bottas that time around, but Bottas here just seemed, I don't know what it was, if he's got front wing damage or just some kind of issue, maybe with the floor of the Mercedes, because he seemed very slow through corners. Just look at the closing speed through Rivage. Hamilton on those fresh tyres with a 46 flat. That's 3 seconds faster than anything I've done all race. But yeah, Bottas just seemed very slow through the mid-corner. We're actually going to keep on board for an extended period of time here with Valtteri Bottas, just to sort of see what his car's like, because admittedly in the dirty air I immediately got slowed down a bit and just lost a lot of front end grip, but Bottas was very slow through corners. You saw it mostly through Rivage. You see it here again through Fagna, just not able to accelerate. The Mercedes have been very slow mid-corner, so I've taken the opportunity to save up all of my ERS, running none, and now once again we're going to bump it up to high, not try and burn all of it. We're going to put it up to high through the final sector as we slipstream Valtteri Bottas. We're within 0.3 of a second now, coming up towards Blanchimont. And look at it, we just drop it down to none. I'm once again going to try and harvest more ERS just with Rich and none, because I don't want to pass the Mercedes here. I want to line him up for my favourite overtaking opportunity, which is just out of Radion. And then down the Camel Straight, we actually tap the rear end of Bottas. That compromises me through the bus stop, and we bump it back up to medium, 0.6 as we cross the line to Valtteri Bottas. Can we try and stay just that little bit closer this time around to maybe get him down the Camel Straight? Here we go, Rich and high. We've got plenty of Rich mix. We've got enough to run in Rich for the rest of the Grand Prix. I've actually bumped it out to overtake early this time around to try and get the toe that I need flat through Eau Rouge and Blanchimont Eau Rouge and Blanchimont, Eau Rouge and Radion. I'm tripping over all my names, but here we go. DRS open, slipstream. Bottas is still just ahead, but we're peaking early, 210 to 11 miles an hour, and we just aren't close enough to the Mercedes car. We're 6/10 up on our personal best. It just goes to show the toe that we are getting and the slingshot. And if we were just within a tenth more over Radion, we would be past this Mercedes car by now, but we're just going to have to wait, just be a little bit more patient, and by the end of lap 20, I'm fed up of being behind Valtteri Bottas. We're going to get him into the bus stop on the brakes, just completely outdrive him, and hopefully Bottas, with that Mercedes power unit, won't be able to come back at me. But that's us up into 4th place, one more on a podium. He's got much better traction than me. Off the bus stop chicane, but he tries around the outside of last source. Is he going to try and cut back underneath me? No, he goes wide on exit. Maybe he is going to set himself up for a run into Eau Rouge. Bottas on the left goes completely past me. That's fine. I'll let him go ahead of me. He might even get DRS. He probably has got DRS, but we're in the slipstream early. We're going to pull to the outside nice and early. Rich and overtake mode. Bottas doesn't appear to have the battery or the straight line speed. Look at that. We've driven straight past him. Can we hold it around the outside of Lecom? It's a lot of speed to carry, but we've done it round the outside of Valtteri Bottas. That is us up into 4th place, one position off the podium and ahead of both Works Mercedes cars. Sebastian Vettel has won the Belgian Grand Prix ahead of Kimi Räikkönen. Daniel Ricciardo makes up the final place on the podium, but we, 4th place, coming through Blanchimont there. The rain did eventually come, but we're on for a personal best lap of the Grand Prix in the final stages, and Hulkenberg, our arch nemesis, Nico Hulkenberg, has passed Valtteri Bottas through Blanchimont, through the bus stop, but across the line, P4 for the Force India.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
So Sebastian Vettel, like I said there, wins the Belgian Grand Prix by an absolute dominant performance from him. He's still put in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, faster than Hamilton on a 45.9 in the dying stages there. Won by 31 seconds over his teammate Räikkönen, who was battling Ricciardo to the end of the Grand Prix by it looks. We come home 11th to 4th in the Force India, beating both Mercedes cars and just beating our nemesis Nico Hulkenberg, who finished 5th. Valtteri Bottas in 6th. Carlos Sainz, a measured reserve drive to 7th. Pierre Gasly up from 15th to 8th in the Toro Rosso. Lance Stroll in 9th for the Williams, getting some points there. And Grosjean looking like a contender potentially early on, but ended up pulling a toe-stop. Not too sure what Haas were thinking with that strategy, but he rounds out the top 10 with Fernando Alonso very close up behind him for the McLaren. Brendan Hartley in 12th for Toro Rosso. Sergei Sorokin 13th. Magnussen again on a toe-stop in 14th. Then Ericsson, Van Dorn, Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton and Perez DNF'd out the Grand Prix. For the Drivers' Championship, that puts me within 2 points of Nico Hulkenberg, and Kimi Räikkönen takes the lead of the Drivers' World Championship there, 17 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. It is definitely swings and roundabouts in this driver's standings, with 3 drivers there having a chance of winning it. 23 points cover the top 3. Bottas a little bit out of this championship already there. So moving on to the Constructors, we are 19 points behind the Renault team, but solidly in 5th place. So we are still chasing them down. If only Perez hadn't got that retirement, because of course with the double Renault score means they get more points than me, unfortunately. But there are going to be weekends there where that happens. Hopefully we will bounce back at the Italian Grand Prix next time out. But let's get into an interview with Claire.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
I mean, honestly, like I said, the car and the medium tyre just came alive. I don't know what it was. It happened in Germany, and it happened again here in Belgium.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
And with this specific Grand Prix, I can only praise the power unit because it was so helpful.
You had a close battle today, didn't you?
In the form of time, and I do feel we are pushing each other very well, and it's going to be a season-long battle.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
I would assume this means a couple of tyre bumping. I didn't really have many comments, so I just went with the best answer possible. The durability department notices it, but that's not going to have too much of an impact overall against us. So there you have it, the finishing position. You know, we finished the race, got a finishing position over both of our rivals. They both got a quicker, or I had a quicker lap than Perez, but Hulkenberg had a quicker lap than me. So we lead the rivalry versus Perez, but we're losing by 1 point against Nico Hulkenberg. Considering how much better the Renault is than the Force India, you know, it's going to be a lengthy battle. But we go into the rep, everyone, you can see Alfa Romeo is maxed out. Force India just love what I'm doing, you know. They're a fan of me and as a driver, which is exactly what I want to do, because I'm still aiming for that Mercedes seat in a couple of seasons' time. But yeah, so we're moving on slightly, a little bit of a showmanship boost, and by the end of the race, we had enough resource points to be able to get that weight reduction upgrade. So all the upgrades now that should have been on the car for this weekend will definitely be there for the Italian Grand Prix. So we're going to get another drag upgrade, an engine power, a major engine power upgrade, and a weight reduction upgrade. And that should theoretically bump us up level or just above Haas in the pecking order of the Formula 1 cars, which I'm very excited to see, because that then means the only team above us there is Renault. Bit of a jump still to Renault, but we should be pretty good there as part of the midfield. Then we can worry about taking Force India up against your Red Bulls, your Ferraris, and your Mercedes. But guys, that has been the Belgian Grand Prix, one of my favourite circuits on the calendar, and we did very well. You know, we pretty much got 7th place on the first straight, which is exactly what I needed to do for my race strategy, and then we just managed to pick up a couple extra positions. Definitely benefited from both Mercedes having issues, but sometimes that's how your smaller teams get those shock results, and it is frustrating that Hulkenberg managed to gain that extra position, but we still beat him in the race. That's what's important. So if you have enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and any feedback down below. If you want to be kept up to date with all the content that comes to the channel, hit that subscribe button and enable them notifications to never miss an update. Next time out, we have the Italian Grand Prix. That's going to come out in a few days' time. I'm going to limit this now to a couple of uploads, 2 as a minimum, maybe 3 if you're lucky per week. I will see you all next time.